What's up, everybody? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking us on out. Got a new Porpoise pod out now. I got another one coming out on Friday. Getting you ready for a little Dolphins and Browns game week. Very excited about it. Can't wait. So I appreciate you guys checking out the channel. Tobin and Leroy this week. We had some fun guests on the show. Tyreek Hill joined the show. Zach Sealer joined the show. Sealer it on up. We have Bernie Kosar on this week, so I recommend you guys check it out. Our interviews from that week, I'll put them in the description there so you guys can scope that on out. As it's been interesting times down here in Dolphin Land, man. This has been a lot of people. I love the Twitter account Finks Receipts. I love the idea that people are coming out and just kind of checking everybody on everything. That's been a lot of fun to check out. And, it's such an interesting feeling having this just anticipation for Sunday, man. Like, it just feels like such an event. Everybody just can't wait for every game to get here. And, sometimes I think around these parts, it was like Sunday is something you have to do. It feels like, of course I'm going to watch the Dolphins. Of course we're going to go through it. That's what you do on Sunday. It's ritual almost. But now it's like, man, I am jonesing. I'm literally like, when is Sunday going to get here? I cannot wait. And I think that is just such a different element to it. And yeah, I think a big part of it has been what this offense has brought to the table, what Tua Tagovailoa has brought to the table. It's so interesting just seeing what all the reaction to this has been, because we have gone from a place where Tyreek Hill was being mocked, was being laughed at, was being told he was an idiot, basically, or was disgruntled or was petty for all the things that he was saying about Tua going up into this season. He has put up record-breaking, MVP-worthy numbers so far this season, and I do think that he definitely should be in that conversation. I think it's interesting that the Dolphins have two guys that may cancel each other out. I mean, I think that they've both been that good. I think a lot of people will defer to, hey, it should go to the quarterback. And I'm not taking anything away from Tua. I just think that Tyreek has been that good and been that impactful and put such fear into defenses that opens up everything for everybody else that he is definitely worthy of being in there. And I don't expect him to win because it's a quarterback award basically, but I think if anybody's going to get it, this is almost like a Devontae Smith in college for the Heisman. Like, maybe it's just so overwhelming that we could just all acknowledge, like, hey, this deserves to be in conversation with everybody else. Even on the even on Jet Up, they were like, oh, who's the non-MVP? The non-quarterback MVP, and everybody picked Tyreek Hill except for Greenberg. He picked, I think, Saquon Barkley because, of course, Jet Up, the king of Jet Up, is not going to give the Dolphins any praise. He's not going to do that. So let's pander to New York some more. It's been interesting seeing the backpedal that's coming from some people. Keyshawn Johnson, pretty notorious Tua hater coming into the year. Now all of a sudden he is backing off of his claims that he had early on in the summer and into this year, and Dolphins not buying into him. Look, a lot of the Dolphins not buying into Tua Tagovailoa, and I'll separate it. Like, Mike McDaniel's always bought into him and has always done the benefit. I mean, like, I don't know if you guys heard Tua discuss Mike McDaniel and just the love that this guy has for Mike McDaniel. He was discussing about it was definitely like a shoddy shot at it was like it was praise for Mike McDaniel, but also like I doubling down on I have not used to this and dealt with a lot of crap last year because he was discussing Mike McDaniel being this just ray of sunshine, this positive light, and he goes, you really see it after the losses. And when we were losing games, he was always the same guy. Just doesn't change. Just always positive outlook. Tua's even said, like, he's almost too positive at points. Not this time, but he said in other press conferences, like, that positivity that Mike McDaniel has brought to the table is just so evident. And you just feel it. Like, the guy, it's impossible just not to look at a story like him and see all the grinding that he has done and be like, wow, I mean, this guy, is living his dream, is performing well in his first season, and all of that stuff. You just it's hard not to feel great for the guy, but also the idea that he has supported and backed and seemingly coached up this quarterback who was damaged in a lot of ways, I think mentally, spiritually, coming into this season. And he has harbored that and nurtured that in just such an impressive manner. And you can just tell the quarterback appreciates that to the fullest. And it's an interesting thing because this was an organization that did look in different directions. I mean, look, this very much seemed like it could have been a Tom Brady, Sean Payton production if it was not for a Brian Flores lawsuit. And it's interesting that Brian Flores lawsuit did maybe nuke these plans of bringing in established people, but also benefited the player that he had no faith in at the end of things. And I don't think that it was like a Dolphins chose Tua over Flores thing. I think it's my theory has always been they were going to go off the Flores thing for the Peyton and Brady thing. And Brady didn't want Flores coaching him after getting snubbed 3 years ago by him. That's just my theory. But it's funny how the Flores lawsuit ends up opening this window for Tua to get the support that he needs. And it's turned out to just be such a beautiful thing. And most of the people are starting to answer for their crimes. If they're wrong, they're starting to back off of it. Some are not. I saw Colin Cowherd still out to him. And I almost don't know what I respect more. Do I respect the idea that, people are... I definitely... If people would just come out and say, hey, I was wrong about Tua. I was wrong. That would be the best. People are kind of just trying to skate back, be sneaky about it. Oh, I never said this. That's why there has to be things, people with the receipts out there on social media. And Cowherd, the thing that annoys me about Cowherd is, because I know like his show is done in a different way. For people who are talkers and yappers and all this, the national people who are dubbed the best at doing this, right? He is doing a national show. Stephen A. Smith does a national show. And they are going to wax poetic and give their takes, and they want reaction. That's the thing. They want reaction. And so he's still on. I'm just very fascinated by Colin's whole arc on Tua because he was so all in on the guy in the Tua documentary, praising him. And then just somewhere along the way, he's basically touched every base as it's come to his opinion on the guy. And so I feel like he did actually have room to be on the Tua bandwagon because he's dropped his anchor like on Tua sucks, Tua's good, Tua just needs support, Tua is a winner, all this stuff. Like he needs all. And then I see this soliloquy that he has, and it's just like touching all of this stuff that's like, well, I said the Dolphins were going to make the playoffs, and I said that they were, that they were going to be in this good position. But mind you, don't mistake what with Tua winning for Tua being great. And Tua's doing all this with, 15-yard passes and under wide open, which is just statistically not true. I think that's the thing that's crazy about me and crazy about it. And one of the things I find interesting is, well, this guy is spouting off at the mouth on Tua's 50-yard passes and under. He's got, leading in yards per attempt, leading in QBR. We've seen him throw the deep bomb to Tyreek Hill to win games. We've seen him make big-time plays over the middle. He is not a guy who is playing it safe at all. And so, all right, I would hear if somebody said, you know what, I don't trust that body. I don't think he's... Fine, if you're going to live on that island. But the weird thing is, like, you're going to go in a direction that's just blatantly false. And the thing that drives me nuts about this when it comes to national guys is these national guys have unbelievable resources. They have unbelievable staff. And even if you said, hey, I'm going to still stay on this island of Tua is no good, how does nobody just reach up in the staff and be like, hey, you can't say that the guy's only doing 15-yard and under passes when it's not true? The guy is going out there and is just absolutely killing it with his offense. And to the idea that, Tua has the right support system around him, good tackle, good weapons, good coach. You find me the quarterback around the league that's doing it without it. Find it for me right now. Justin Herbert loses his receivers, gets banged up, seems like he has a dummy coach, doesn't quite look the same, does he? Joe Burrow loses Jamar Chase, Doesn't quite look the same, does he? Aaron Rodgers loses Devontae Adams. Doesn't look quite the same, does he? Josh Allen, hasn't even been playing, I think, to his best this year. Now is dealing with injury. But what did he look like before Stephon Diggs? Like, all of these elite quarterbacks, most of them out of elite weapons. I'd say the only guy you could probably argue about it is Mahomes. Mahomes is the best. I mean, we all acknowledge this guy is the best and can probably make chicken salad out of chicken bleep better than anybody in the league. But every one of them, but who's this guy? Andy Reid. He's got the best tight end in the league and Travis Kelce. Like, it's not like the cupboard is bare for a guy like Patrick Mahomes either. Like, you tell me around this league who is doing it with nothing. Who is flourishing around this league with nothing? I'll wait. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And you're looking at the numbers of everybody who are putting up 190 yards, 150 yards, and still winning games, 200. Tua's now got back-to-back weeks, 300-plus yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And we're still questioning this? Cowherd? Really? I know what you think, dude, but like, at least come up with better arguments to put to craft your bowl bleep than what you're spitting out there. It's very unbecoming